How's it going, everyone, and welcome back to another video. If you're new to my channel, my name is Max, and for the past 2 years I have been building out my Toyota Sequoia, turning it into a overland vehicle and taking it on a whole bunch of truck camping adventures around the West Coast. It's been so much fun. I've loved doing the build and I've loved sharing it with you guys. So if you're new, welcome to my channel. Thanks so much for being here. I'm excited to start a new video series today, which I'm calling Overland Guide, with the purpose of either helping you guys or inspiring you guys to get out and go on your own overlanding adventures. So if you're looking to get outdoors, create amazing memories, and have awesome off-road experiences, this series is going to be for you. Overlanding has been such an amazing hobby and passion for me over the past couple years. It's taken me to some of the most amazing places around Oregon, and in the process, just created so many amazing memories and deepened my love for nature and the outdoors. I'm no expert, but with this series, I want to share some of my knowledge from the past 2 years with you guys to hopefully make getting into overlanding feel a little bit more achievable. You know, when you're first getting started, there is so much info out there: vehicle modifications, all of your gear and equipment, cooking gear, food, the list goes on, and it can just feel like a lot all at once. In this series, I just want to talk about some of these topics, break it all down, and hopefully make overlanding feel a little less overwhelming to you guys. So welcome to my new series, Overland Guide. I hope these videos will be helpful to you in some way. Thank you for being here, and let's go ahead and get started with part 1, where we break down what is overlanding and what makes a good overlanding vehicle. Our first topic for today is what is overlanding, and by definition, overlanding is off-road, self-reliant travel to remote destinations. Now, don't get caught up in the word remote here. Lots of people think that overlanding has to be these epic 5 to 6 day adventures way off in these super remote destinations, but there is no specific distance for it to be considered remote. I've been on trips as close as 5 to 10 miles to a city, all the way up to 60 or 70 miles away from the closest city. So just wanted to mention that and make sure you guys know that you don't have to go super far for it to be overlanding. Don't get caught up in that. This is something that you guys can do and find locations close to where you currently live. With overlanding, there's a big emphasis on not just the destination, but the journey as well. And this resonates so much with me personally, and I think is a big part of why I enjoy overlanding so much as a hobby, is because it really is focused around living in the moment and enjoying the entire adventure. Overlanding is kind of a combination of multiple different hobbies, and I think that's why it appeals to so many people. But it includes off-roading, camping, exploring, and cooking food and dinner. There's so many of these little different sections that make up overlanding as a whole. Now, one of the other things I love so much about overlanding is it often includes exploring new to you areas, and you can often find some gorgeous and amazing campsites that are usually free as well. Overlanding seems to kind of blow up in the past couple years. While I don't know exactly where it started, I think it kind of started taking off around COVID. People had a lot of time on their hands. They were looking for a way to get out of the house, go to new places, have new experiences, and overlanding was kind of a solution for so many of those things that were missing from people's lives being trapped indoors. Getting outside and getting into nature, experiencing some solitude and quiet seems to be something that has increased recently with our busy lives, and overlanding is the perfect way to get out on an adventure, unplug, turn your devices, turn your phones off, and just relax and enjoy being in the moment. Now that you guys hopefully have a better idea of what overlanding is, I quickly want to talk about why you might want to get into overlanding. Along with the adventure part of overlanding, if you are a nature lover, if you love seeing scenic places, if you love experiencing solitude, I have a strong feeling you guys will like overlanding as well. I have been to some of the most beautiful destinations overlanding, and it's just been an amazing way to get outside, experience some of these amazing places around Oregon and the West Coast, and for the most part, do them in solitude. When you're overlanding, you can often go to remote destinations. You can think of remote here not so much as a distance or being super far away, but more just being by yourself. And for me personally, that is such an amazing way to experience nature and the outdoors. So hopefully that helps to give you guys a little bit of a better idea of what overlanding is and why I enjoy it so much. And now I want to transition more into overlanding vehicles and talk about what makes a good overlanding vehicle. There are a couple features or considerations that you might want to think about if you're looking to purchase purchase a vehicle with the intended use of overlanding, and I just want to kind of go over some of these and share them with you to hopefully help you guys get a better idea of what vehicle might fit your specific needs. Now, one of the first and arguably most important considerations when choosing an overland vehicle is picking something with four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive. Now, that's not to say you can't build an overland vehicle with a two-wheel drive car or truck. I'm a big fan of just using what you have, but if you're looking to purchase a new vehicle with the intended use of turning it into an overland rig, looking for something with four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive is something I highly recommend. With overlanding, lots of the times you're traveling off-road, and you just feel a lot better and a lot more comfortable knowing that your vehicle has that capability to get up some of the trails and get to some of the places that you want to get to. Along with four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, it's important to pick a vehicle with some ground clearance. When you have a vehicle that sits lower to the ground, it's just a higher chance that you hit and damage something. This is a big part of why you see so many lifted trucks with big tires for overlanding. Partly it does look cool, but also it really is for safety, just to reduce the risk of damaging something and getting stuck out on the trail. Along with off-road capability, it's important to pick a vehicle that has some durability and reliability. Overlanding often includes driving in all types of terrains. I've personally driven in sand, dirt, mud, snow, the list goes on, and it's important to pick a vehicle that can handle some abuse because these types of driving do take a toll on your vehicle. Reliability is also a big part of choosing an overland vehicle and why you see so many Toyotas used when it comes to overlanding. Toyotas are known for their reliability. Their engines last so long. My Sequoia is personally at 210,000 miles, and it's funny to think that that is still considered low mileage when it comes to a Toyota, when it comes to the Sequoias, Foreigners, Tundras. All of these Toyota vehicles are known to last very long. Reliability is also really important when you're traveling out to more remote locations, just because if you do have vehicle difficulties or problems, it's just a lot harder to get help when you're way out in the forest or way out in the mountains. So picking a vehicle that's reliable is really important, and a big reason why I went with the Sequoia. If you're curious to learn more about my experience owning the Sequoia, I have a video on my channel. It's a 2-year ownership video, and I talk all about things that have gone wrong, what I've enjoyed, and kind of why I personally went with the Sequoia. So that's going to be linked in the description of this video. If you're interested in the Sequoia specifically, feel free to go check that video out as well. Vehicle comfort is another topic you might want to consider. Lots of times with overlanding, you're driving longer distances to get to trails, and then of course once you're off-road, trails are bumpy, they're loud, vehicles can rattle. These are all things that you might want to think about. Using the Sequoia as an example here, part of the reason I love it so much is because there is so much interior space. It makes it super comfortable for longer road trips, driving off-road. The seats are really comfortable. These are all things that you might want to think about when picking an overland vehicle. You need to ask yourself, how much gear do I want to bring? How much space do I need? How far am I going to be driving? How important is it to have comfortable seats? Do I want heated seats and some of these nicer features? Am I planning to camp in the cold weather? The list goes on. But thinking about vehicle comfort is really important when you're picking a vehicle. Along the lines of vehicle comfort, another consideration is if you plan to sleep in the back of your overland vehicle. Now, when it comes to sleeping, when you're overlanding, there are a ton of options. There are rooftop tents, you can camp on the ground, you can camp in the back of your SUV. This all just depends on what your personal preference is. If you're looking for a vehicle where you can camp right in the back, just like I do with the Sequoia, don't be afraid to measure it out. Consider your height, consider how much space is in the back, how much space do you need to comfortably sleep in there. Take the time to research these things because they can really make or break your overland experience. So far we've covered off-road capability, durability and reliability, and just overall vehicle comfort. Another consideration is towing capacity. Lots of times with overlanding, it can be popular to, if you have a truck, put a truck camper on there, or with an SUV, sometimes you might want to tow a trailer. Now this really depends on your specific and personal needs, but things to think about. Again, do you want to tow a big trailer? Do you have a truck and maybe you want to put a big truck camper on there? Different vehicles all have completely different towing capacities, and it's a really important consideration before you pick a vehicle. Now, I personally can't talk much about towing with the Sequoia or using an off-road trailer for overlanding, but there are a ton of other great videos out there, so if it's something you're interested in, definitely go check that out on YouTube. The last topic I want to talk a little bit about when it comes to picking an overland vehicle is aftermarket support and customization. Now, this is arguably one of the most fun parts about building an overland vehicle, especially if you get a vehicle completely stock. It's kind of like a blank canvas, and you can build it exactly how you want and turn it into a vehicle that fits your specific needs. No vehicle is ever really going to be the same, and that's the fun part, is you can personalize it and customize it to fit your needs. Now, certain vehicles have a lot more aftermarket support and a lot more options than others, so this is something I highly recommend you guys look into before you buy a vehicle. Ask yourself, how important is it to be able to customize your vehicle, and something to consider before you go out and buy an overland vehicle. Certain modifications are universal, for example, wheels and tires, rooftop tents. Some of these you can put on pretty much any vehicle, but other parts like bumpers or suspension parts, these are all vehicle specific, and like I was saying, different vehicles are going to have more or less of that available compared to others. The last thing I want to talk about today is just whether or not overlanding is for you. If you're someone who loves adventure in the outdoors, scenic places, new experiences, and solitude, overlanding might be for you. It's important to remember that you can start small with overlanding. You don't have to immediately jump into a 4 to 5 day trip. You can just go out on a one-night trip somewhere close to home to get yourself started. Flexibility is another really important part of overlanding because, like I talked about earlier, there is just a lot that is outside of your control. Now, I personally am someone who loves having a plan, but the more you can learn to be flexible and just open with the situations that you're given, the more enjoyable your overlanding experience is going to be. The first couple times you're out overlanding, sometimes you want everything to go perfectly, but it's important to understand that that is not how overlanding works. There are all these factors and things that are outside of your control, things you might not even ever think about until you're out on the trail, but the one thing you can control is always your attitude, and this really determines how enjoyable your overlanding experience can be. Mechanical knowledge is another important part of overlanding, and you certainly don't have to be an expert. I am by no means a mechanic, but having some basic mechanic and vehicle knowledge, maybe how to change a tire or check fluid levels, certainly doesn't hurt. The last question or consideration you might want to make when determining whether or not overlanding is something for you is just your personal life. Do you have pets? Do you have a family? Do you have kids? What's your work schedule like? Do you have time to even go out and go overlanding? These are all things to consider, and you shouldn't let any of these stop you if you're trying to get into overlanding, but they can just change your experience a little bit. So just to recap today, we started off by talking about overlanding and what it is. Then we talked a little bit about what makes a good overlanding vehicle, and we finished up with just a couple questions and considerations you might want to make to determine whether or not overlanding is for you. If you think you are interested in overlanding and excited to learn more, definitely stay tuned, because I'm going to be working on this whole new video series called Overland Guide with the purpose of helping you guys safely get out and on your own overlanding experiences. Overlanding has been such a fun passion and hobby for me, and it's been amazing getting to build and customize the Sequoia into what it is today, and to share it with you guys as well. Overlanding has taken me to so many amazing and beautiful locations around Oregon, and I'm truly so grateful for each and every one of the adventures that I've gotten the chance to go on. I truly hope this video series will be helpful to you, whether that's just giving you a better idea of what overlanding is and how you can kind of get started with it, or just inspiring you to get out on a new overlanding adventure. And that is going to wrap it up for this first part, what is overlanding and how to pick a good overlanding vehicle. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Your support really does help me out, and I do appreciate it. Of course, if you guys have any comments or questions, you can always feel free to drop them in the comment section below, or you can send me a message on Instagram. I have been getting a lot of comments recently, so I'll try my best to get back to you guys as quickly as I can. So thank you so much for watching, and definitely stay tuned. There will be more videos in this Overland Guide series coming soon. In the next episode of Overland Guide, we'll dive deeper into choosing an overland vehicle. We'll discuss some of the key differences between trucks and SUVs, and hopefully provide some insight into which vehicle might be a better fit for you. Definitely stay tuned, and I'll see you guys in the next part.